So, for those of you who are deeply devoted to truth and the spiritual path, yeah, your journey will look different. First of all, no one will actually understand your path, at least not most people. Like 99% of the people you know will have no idea why you're so devoted to truth. And they may think you're crazy. They may think that you're some living in la la land, whatever box they want to put you in. The key thing here is that don't expect anyone to understand you. They will not, because most people, they are immersed in the trivial things of life, and they do zero contemplation about these things. The most that they contemplate is, what am I going to eat? Where am I going to go? Who am I going to meet now? What am I going to do? That's They're occupied only by thoughts like that. So there is no contemplation of truth. There is no contemplation of inner peace. There is no contemplation about awakening, nothing. So most people will not get you, because if you're at a higher level, you can understand them, but they cannot understand you. You can understand the previous stages, but the previous stages cannot understand the next stages. So it's virtually impossible for them to understand you. So don't even try to make them get you. This will just leave you exhausted. And you also realize that if you're on that path of truth and spiritual growth, you cannot do what everyone else is doing. You cannot just go out and hang out every day and go to the mall and drink and party and do whatever other people are doing, or have these surface level conversations about basically nonsense, basically things that are not important at all. So you cannot engage in that usual, normal life that most people are deeply engaged in, that because they don't know any different. But you're genuinely not interested in these things. So the mainstream things don't really appeal to you. You're deeply devoted to the inner journey. So yeah, no one will get you. No one can understand your path. And if you have one person with whom you can discuss these things, that's already enough. You don't need a lot of people. You only need one person. And if you don't have that, then trust that this is the destiny right now. You're not supposed to have that. Because when you're alone, you have so much time to contemplate. You have so much time to dive deeper within your own self and find truth there. And you cannot do that if you're constantly surrounded by people. That's why a lot of people on the spiritual path, they feel attracted to living a hermit lifestyle, like in some place where no one will bother them. They don't have to deal with anything in the world, which this thing is not always possible. It depends on your destiny and why you came here, what you have chosen to experience in this life. So that path of a hermit will not be for everyone. You can be a hermit internally, but still participate in the world, let's say, if you have to go to a job, if you have to meet certain people. So you can still engage with these things, but only if there is a purpose for you to be there, like real purpose. You really need to be there. Then it's okay, you can handle it. But the moment you don't need to be there anymore, you better leave, because you only start losing energy, because there is no purpose for you to be there. So yes, you can still engage with other people, with the world, with everyday life, but only if there is a purpose, very specific purpose, like I have to be there. Then the divine will give you the strength and everything you need to handle it. But once there is no purpose, better leave, because then you start losing energy and you're basically in a compromising situation. And that's why you lose energy. Every time you compromise internally, you're going to lose energy. So this does not mean that you don't make, like, if you're engaged with someone, let's say, sometimes you have to make a compromise with something, but not with you internally. That's the thing. Like, this thing within you will guide you where to go, what to do, what career to pursue, what passions you need to follow, or it may guide you to just sit down and be with yourself. You see, so there is no one can tell you that, what will inner guidance tell you to do. But yeah, these things, they're not mainstream, like the spiritual growth path and awakening to truth. These are not things that society is very concerned about, because, Maya, the illusion, is so strong. It just takes you, and it doesn't let you go. It doesn't want to let you go. But that's part of the experience for you. You can see clearly when you get, um, when you fall into Maya, you can clearly see that, and you can step back and remember truth within you. And that's the practice. That's the spiritual practice for you. It's to not get in that illusion. You can still, as Jesus Christ has said, be in the world, but do not be of it. So you can still be in the world, but don't be of the world. Meaning, don't follow what society is following, because what mainstream is doing is not the right thing for you. Your path is different. You're devoted to truth. You're devoted to growing spiritually, to discovering who you are on a deeper level. Like, this is your path, and this is not widely spread. So people will not understand it. And the more you try to communicate your ideas to people who are not at that level, the more you will suffer, because you are, let's say, trying to awaken them, or you're trying to show them the truth. Like the Messiah complex. You think you're here to wake everyone up, which is like, it's again ego playing. But you're not here to wake anyone up. If there is a space for that, if someone is open and receptive, and you feel like that is a safe space to share and exchange some truth, then yeah, totally do that. But if the person has built these walls which are protecting them against truth, we could say, you cannot break these walls, and it's not your job to do it. That's the job of the divine. If it's their destiny to wake up, they will wake up. There is nothing you can do about it. And if sometimes the divine takes form and expression through you to share something meaningful, to share some truth, then you will feel guided to do it, and you will not lose energy. Actually, you will earn energy, because energy is circulating, because uh, there is someone who gives and there is someone who receives. But if this is not here, like, if you're trying to give but there is nothing that receives it, you're losing energy. So yeah, don't expect anyone to understand your path. That's completely fine. Just stay on the path and do what inner guidance tells you to do. Just follow that, and follow it at every single second of your day. It will guide you. Do this, go there, do that. It will guide you, but not in like in a thought form. It's more like of a knowing. I know I need to do this. I know I need to go there. I know now I need to sit and do nothing. And then the conditioning may kick in. And let's say you're sitting and doing nothing. And no, you have to be productive. You have to do that. You have to achieve. You have to blah blah blah, whatever the mainstream programming will tell you. You have to be productive all the time. But the most productive thing, if you're on that path, that you can do is actually sit down and do nothing and just be by yourself. That is paradoxically the most productive thing to do. And you realize this for yourself, because when you sit down by yourself, you can be in the presence that you are. You can be as the presence that you are, and it that's the most satisfying thing. So you're learning to be as that presence without buying into the mind, the monkey mind that always thinks. So the monkey mind will always think, but you're just here. You're here, you're present, and whatever mind says, you just don't go with it. You allow it to do its thing, but you don't go with it. So yeah, if you're on that kind of a journey, yeah, no one will get you, and you probably 99% of the people you meet during your entire lifetime will not get you. Now, of course, there are exceptions where people are born in the right circumstances, surrounded by people to guide them to awaken. Yeah, there are people like that. But for most people who are like coming out of regular families, and well, we didn't have a spiritual guru, no one taught us these things. We basically had to awaken to them by ourselves, which is not really by ourselves, it's the divine that does it. But basically no one around us has ever talked about these things, so you're the first, so to say, in your family who does that. Yeah, you don't have a spiritual teacher, you don't have a spiritual community. It's like, yeah, no one will get you. And the thing about spiritual communities is I never felt attracted to spiritual communities, because there is so much fluff there. Oh, peace, love, light. And the humanness, they're bypassing the humanness. Now, not all spiritual communities, but most of them. That's the feeling I get. It's like the truth is not integrated. It's just conception based. It's not living truth, because if it's living truth, it will acknowledge the spiritual and the human, the practical. So if it's not integrated, it will stay on one of these two, where most people are only on practical human level, which is also like not the best thing, because you don't, it's not your path basically. But most people are operating on that level. And then you have spiritual communities where they're bypassing the human side of things, and they're only talking about spirituality. So you don't really feel attracted to neither of them, and you're like, okay, is there like, where are my people? Like, I have no people. Yeah, that's the destiny. That's the destiny, is to feel that, to be on that path of solitude. And here is a trap, like, just because, let's say, you're drawn towards solitude, and another person who is also devoted to truth, they're like, they love to communicate, they love to be around people, they love to share. There is no indicator because of that one or the other person is higher level. The divine takes shape and form in everything. So it can express through someone who loves communities, wants to be in them, wants to engage, but it can also express in people who are more solitary. Like I am that. I love being around people, but only if there is purpose. Only if there is, we can really talk about real stuff. Other than that, I'm not really interested. And it's kind of a more solitary path. So yeah, if you're on that path, or even if you're devoted to truth and spiritual growth, no one will understand you, and that's just part of the experience. And this in itself is trying to show you something. It's trying to show you that you don't need anything else to feel contentment. You don't need anything else to feel inner peace, and the ultimate joy of life is already within. And that's what this experience is guiding you to do. It's to discover the joy within yourself that is always there. It's just that thoughts, emotions cover it, so you need to work your way through them. And yeah, the mind is a big obstacle. The mind, it's like it always lures you in with some thoughts that it wants you to engage with, because this way you give it your attention and you're feeding it, and that's how it survives. But then you realize that it doesn't bring you anything. Like the more you think, the more stressed you get, the more exhausted you feel. And when you actually see clearly that just thinking doesn't bring you anything unless there is some practical use for that, sure. But for the most part, thinking doesn't bring you anything. You just give it up and you just be. And that's the ultimate joy. So yeah, no one will get your path. Don't try to awaken anyone. Don't try to make them see the truth. See the truth yourself and let that be your path. Let that be your spiritual practice. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.